How hungry would you have to be to eat a brain sandwich? What about some fried spider? The world is full of weird and wonderful things, so let's take a little trip around the world and explore some of the weirdest foods we could find. From wasp crackers to rotten eggs, these dishes offer a truly fascinating look at cultures from across the globe. Let's take a look at some of the weirdest foods in the world. Before starting the video, please subscribe to the channel and click on the notification icon so you would get notified when we upload the next video. Number 10. Snake wine, Vietnam. Fancy a different sort of wine? A bouquet of reptile with some note of venom perhaps? Snake wine is a rice wine bottled with a venomous snake. It has a slightly pink color like a nice rose because of the snake blood in there. It's believed to have medicinal purposes, but it's probably more useful as a conversation piece than anything else. The snake is left to steep in the rice wine for many months to let the poison dissolve in the wine. Ethanol neutralizes the venom, so it's not dangerous. This wine originated in Vietnam, where snakes are thought to possess medicinal qualities, but it has spread to the other parts of Southeast Asia and southern China. Snake wine shouldn't be confused with the potentially more dangerous snake blood wine, made by slicing the belly of the snake to let the blood drain into the wine and served immediately. Number 9. Excrement coffee, Indonesia. You might want to think twice if someone offers you a cup of coffee when you pop around to their house in Indonesia, or maybe not. Kopi Luwak is the rarest, most expensive gourmet coffee in the world. Sounds divine, right? It's actually made from the excrement of an Indonesian cat-like creature called the luwak. The luwak eats only the ripest coffee cherries, but its stomach can't digest the beans inside them, so they come out whole. The coffee that results from this process is said to be like no other, and the stomach acids and the enzymes that perform the fermentation of the beans give the coffee a special aroma. This process takes place on the islands of Sumatra, Java, and Sulawesi in the Indonesian archipelago, with an expensive price tag of anywhere between $120 and $300 per pound. You might want to start saving now if you want to try this gourmet coffee. Number 8. Fried tarantulas, Cambodia. The eensy-weensy spider climbed up the water spout. If you suffer from arachnophobia, you probably don't want to try eating these 8-legged monsters. They're not tiny little house spiders, they're great big tarantulas, and you can buy them from street vendors in Suan, Cambodia. They're fried whole, legs 7 in all. They were first discovered to be edible by starving Cambodians in the bloody, brutal days of Khmer Rouge rule, and have gone from being a vital sustenance of these people to a delicacy tourists come from far and wide to try. The black hairy arachnids found in the jungle around the market town of Suan have become a source of fame and fortune for the region as busloads of people stop to try them on their way to other places. For only a few cents, they taste delicious, plucked straight from the burrow and pan-fried with a bit of garlic and salt. They're crispy on the outside with a gooey body on the inside, with a flavor resembling cricket or chicken. Number 7. Pufferfish, Japan. You've got to be careful with this delicacy or you might end up in the morgue. The deadly pufferfish, or fugu, is an ultimate delicacy in Japan even though its skin and inside contains a poisonous toxin, tetrodotoxin, which is 1,250 times stronger than cyanide. That's why in Japan, only expert chefs and licensed restaurants are allowed to prepare it. Only try this at licensed restaurants, otherwise you could end up paralyzed and eventually die from asphyxiation because there is no known antidote. 15 people died in Thailand when the fish was declared illegal and people started dyeing it in pink and passing it off as salmon. Number 6. Fertilized eggs, the Philippines. This Filipino dish called balut is unlike chocolate Kinder Surprise. These eggs harbor a surprise, although it's not a plastic toy, but rather a chance to eat your chicken and your egg at the same time. Fertilized eggs are boiled just before they're due to hatch, so your yolk oozes and followed by a chicken or duck fetus. They are cooked when the fetus is anywhere from 17 days to 21 days, depending on your preference. Although when the egg is older, the fetus begins to have a beak, claws, bones, and feathers. In Filipino culture, balut is almost as popular as the hot dog in America, and street vendors yell out "balut" as they push down their carts down the street. They're popularly believed to boost the libido and are also a hearty snack full of protein. Balut are usually guzzled down with beer and are prepared with a pinch of salt, lemon juice, black pepper, and coriander, although some balut eaters prefer to eat it with chili and vinegar. Number 5. Maggot cheese, Sardinia. This Sardinian dish is riddled with insect larvae. Casu marzu means rotten cheese and is most commonly referred to as maggot cheese. It has now been banned for health reasons but can still be found for sale on the black market in Sardinia and other parts of Italy. This sheep's milk cheese is basically pecorino, which has the larva of the cheese fly, Piophila casei, introduced into it. Fermentation occurs as the larva digest the cheese fats, and the texture becomes very soft with some liquid seeping out. The cheese has to be eaten when the maggots are still alive because when they are dead it is considered to be toxic. Since the larvae can jump if they are disturbed, diners have to shield their eyes. Health issues have arisen in relation to casu marzu, including reports of allergic reactions and the danger of consuming cheese that has advanced to a toxic state. Number 4. Surstromming Sweden. Surstromming is fermented Baltic herring and can be found on the supermarket shelves all over Sweden, although you probably won't see it next to the IKEA meatballs. The herring is caught in the spring when it is just about to spawn and is fermented in barrels for 1 to 2.5 months before it is tinned, where the fermentation continues for several months. The cans often bulge during shipping and storage because of the continued fermentation process. Certain airlines have in fact banned these cans from being taken on flights as they consider the pressurized cans to be potentially dangerous, like fireworks and explosives. When the can is opened, the smell is usually what you will get to first, as the fermented fish has a really strong odor. It's usually eaten with a type of flat, crispy bread and boiled potatoes. Sometimes people drink milk or water with it, but beer is the best way to wash it down. Number 3. Bird's nest soup, China. You wouldn't necessarily think a bird's nest would be edible, but the Chinese use swift's nest to make this soup known as caviar of the East. Right now, you're probably imagining a nest made out of twigs and leaves, but swiftlets make their nest predominantly out of saliva. It's something in the saliva of the bird that makes it have this unique gelatinous, rubbery texture, and it's one of the most expensive animal products consumed by humans. It's expensive because the swiftlets build the nest during a breeding season over a period of 35 days, and the nests can only be harvested around 3 times a year. The nests are typically built in coastal caves, and collecting them is a treacherous process involving nimble climbing skills, which adds to the hefty price tag. With an increase in demand for bird's nest soup, man-made nesting sites have become common. Number 2. Live octopus, Korea. Senakaji is a raw dish containing a live octopus typical in Korea. Live octopus is cut into pieces, lightly seasoned with sesame oil, and served immediately, the tentacles still squirming on the plate. Eating live octopus is a serious challenge. Beyond the mental challenge of trying to get your head around eating something that's still alive, but there's the physical difficulty of fighting with your food as the tentacles stick to any surface they touch. The first hurdle is to get the tentacles off your chopsticks, and once the octopus is in your mouth, it will suction to your teeth, the roof of your mouth, and your tongue, essentially trying to preserve its own life. Some locals consider it a party in your mouth as the tentacles wriggle while you chew. Special care should be taken to chew thoroughly though, however, because if the suction cup sticks to your throat, you might choke. Number 1. The puffin heart, Iceland. Sometimes referred to as the clown of the ocean or sea parrot, the puffin with its colorful beak and clumsy behavior is considered an adorable bird. The sight of a puffin flapping its wings and jumping from a cliff generate enough lift to become airborne is enough to make anyone go, ah. In Iceland, however, these seabirds have been source of sustenance for Icelanders on the islands for centuries. Iceland is home to one of the world's largest colonies of puffins, and sky fishing is a sport which involves catching the low-flying birds in a big net. The best place to catch a puffin or two is in the Westman Islands, where they are sustainably harvested to prevent them from going extinct. Hunters break their necks, skin them, and then eat the fresh heart while it's raw, still warm, as a traditional Icelandic delicacy. Puffin is like a fishier version of chicken or duck. Do let us know in the comments if you want to try any one of these delicacies. Thanks for watching.